everyone is embracing AI with different levels, obviously.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some barriers and challenges, all right? Because there is shiny toy out there, right? Company learning about the exciting opportunities to invest and to find the quick returns. Question is, right, when it comes to adoption, how do you advise your clients in terms of this low-hanging fruit, the project that will have the most impact?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because even though when you ask CEOs and CIOs and business executive whether they're willing to to adopt AI, everyone is saying yes. But then when you go into the ground, we see there is a high rate of failure, when it comes to applying AI at project level, and this is due to a lot of reasons. One is around a lack of AI education. There isn't a lot of people in the business who understand AI or what AI can do for them, or how to use AI. So that's one thing. There is also a lack of AI capability. So most of the time, companies, even though they're trying to build their own internal, teams. Most of them, they go externally, to consultants or to big, tech companies. And unless you go to the right, body, you may get into the wrong trouble, because sometimes they have different culture. Maybe the tech company doesn't understand the business knowledge. So there are like a lot of, problems in adopting AI and implementing AI on the ground. I think for me, as someone who has been advising organizations and businesses in applying AI, my advice to them is think of AI as a tool. Don't think of it as an end on itself. It's not an end. You should always start with your problem, not with not with AI. So understand your problem, your problem statement, frame it, how you are going to tackle it, and then among the different ways you can tackle it, one of them is AI. So never, start with AI. You should always start with the business context, and that's sometimes what is missing, in in practice.
Good. Wow. This is really very practical, pragmatic approach you're describing, Djamila. So question is, how do you capitalize on the AI potential? Because we've seen lots of disappointments earlier years. Right? So companies invested and they did not invest wisely. They lost that investment and, most importantly, credibility. Because if you're a leader of the project that's not bringing business results, the consequences are biting you down the road, right? So how do you navigate around, those early?
I guess how you will navigate will be very linked to kind of the company profile, whether they're like an early adopter, whether they know nothing about AI, how far are they in their AI journey. But I think kind of with AI, you need to experiment. So kind of like, one of the biggest also kind of mistake companies do is they invest heavily at the beginning in one way or in one platform or in one tool. Whether they should, my advice for them is to experiment with different tools, with different projects, try to find those low hanging fruit, project, and try to use AI, in that, and then scale it in time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, Djamila. So what about the strategy advice that you provide to the clients in a way that they need to strategize, they need to be a little more forward thinking, because these projects, they don't bring investment, return on investment in the next 3 months, right? It's got to be longer road they have to plan for. So how do you kind of condition your clients so they are on the right path?
Yeah. So I think kind of when we advise our clients at Mindsense Global, what we do is what we call an AI strategy review. So what we do is, so for example, if the client is from is a bank, in the financial services sector, we will do like a deep dive review on the financial services. So we will show the client how different companies are using AI in financial services, and we will show them how they rank compared to their competitors, because you have to see AI as a tool that can give you that competitive advantage. So if you want to use AI, you want first to know how your competitors or your, the other firms are using AI or not yet. So you need to find like a niche area that will give you that competitive advantage. And they could be, I don't know, 10, maybe 20, 30 ways on how you use AI. You will have to find the one that will add the most value to your company.